This past Saturday was Batman Day, and what better way to celebrate than to go out to my local comic book store and draw some Batman. Greetings, people of the internet. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome, mad creators, to the underground laboratory where we create robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. And sometimes we draw Batman at least once a year on Batman Day. So this is something, I don't know how long this Batman Day thing has been going on, but I've noticed that it seems to be picking up steam because on Instagram I saw a bunch of people posting Batman artwork and everything. I didn't get a chance to post any of my Batman artwork, but I do have some of it that I want to share with you. I did a bunch of Batman commissions. I went out to my local comic book shop, Surprise Comics, and they kind of had a draw-a-thon, which is really cool, where basically they had some professional artists, some just local artists, and just anyone who wanted to come and draw with us. It was really cool. So I had a lot of fun. I got to meet some really cool people. I got to hang out with them and draw and just create some Batmans. I got some requests for some kind of cool stuff that I wasn't even aware that was going on. I've been sort of out of the sort of mainstream of comics, so some new characters in the Batman universe that I wasn't even aware of, but they were kind of fun to draw. So let me show you what that's all about, but in order to do that, we've got to kind of go back in time to last Saturday, and because I am here in the underground lair, it's hard to get out. We have to live vicariously through this device up here, the paralleloscope, which allows us to travel through alternate realities, parallel dimensions, all that stuff. So let's go back and let's take a look. Hey, I'm at Surprise Comics in Surprise, Arizona. This is my hometown local comic book store, and today is Batman Day, so I'm going to be doing some Batman sketches, or just whatever sketches. This is the only Batman shirt I had, so I got that on. So yeah, if you want to, well, it's probably too late to come down by the time I upload this video, but anyway, I just want to show you kind of what's going on here today, and it should be fun. Okay, let's make our way inside. We've got some classic Bronze Age comics. Of course, got tons of pops if you're into pops, graphic novels. The store pretty much has all the stuff you're looking for. And look, the gang's all here. Everyone's here drawing comics. So I think it's time for me to get down to drawing some characters, some Batman characters. So first off, I figured I would start with the man himself, Batman. So yeah, I'm gonna do a sketch card. I've got some old sketch cards that I did of sort of Batman's rogues gallery, but I realized I didn't have a Batman, so figured, well, what the heck, I will draw a Batman. So that's kind of what I started off doing. This one wasn't a commission. I just figured no one was there asking for permissions quite yet, so I just decided to go ahead and draw Batman. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I don't. This is a character I haven't drawn a lot of. It was probably, ironically, it's probably the first character I've ever drawn. It was back when I was a little kid. Batman, the 60s Batman was in reruns. So I would watch that all the time, and I probably told this story, but what I used to do is I would take just coloring books, and they weren't superhero coloring books. They were just like, I don't know, firefighting, safety, coloring books, or just average people. And then I would put the Batman cowl on, and I'd do Robin and everything. Which I was planning on just starting to go through, and after Batman, do Robin and do some of the other Batman villains in sketch card form. And but after I drew this, I just started getting commission after commission, which is cool. And I'll show you guys some of those. Some of the things that I did weren't really Batman. It weren't, I was doing commissions of all kinds of crazy stuff. I was doing commissions of zombie versions of the Lion King characters. That was a little different. And I did some classic Hanna-Barbera stuff, like the Drac from the the Groovy Ghoulies. So yeah, I did some crazy stuff. I didn't film all that, but I did film the Batman stuff. So of course, this is pretty much the classic Batman look. And then I was trying to decide whether, once I get around to coloring, if I should do like the sort of the black and gray Batman, which I don't dislike, but I don't know. I'm kind of partial to the blue cowl and cape and everything. So as you'll see when I start breaking out the markers, that's kind of the look that I went with. But Batman's always a fun character to draw. Obviously, he stood the test of time. He's got I mean, he's just got such an iconic look. He's one of those characters, like when I tell people, designing characters, Batman is like one of the first ones I go to, because one thing you want to think about when you're designing characters is what that character would look like in silhouette. And there is no mistaking Batman in silhouette. If you see the silhouette of Batman with the ears, with the cape, with kind of the scalloped edges and everything on the cape, that sort of bat shape that the cape makes, that there's absolutely no denying that is Batman. So it's such a great character, and I probably should get around to drawing him more, but it was fun to do that, even if it was just a portrait. Later on, I drew a different version of Batman, quite a different version of Batman, one that I was just introduced to here on Batman Day that I wasn't familiar with, because as I said in the intro, I don't really keep up so much on what's going on in modern comics. Every once in a while, something, kind of break through, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But there's a lot of stuff going on that I was not aware of, as far as, just all the new characters and things that have been introduced into sort of the Batman universe, or just the DC universe, or the Marvel universe, or whatever. I mean, we're kind of focusing on DC today, with it being Batman. So yeah, there's my Batman sketch. And of course, you got the classic, you got tons of back issues and everything. Pretty much everything you would need. It's pretty much, Surprise Comics is pretty much what you would expect for a comic store. But they do have other things, like they're big on like Lego characters, and of course they got pops and things like that. And they've got jewelry of your favorite, pop culture style jewelry and stuff like that. So comics plus a little bit of extra stuff. So here, this is another character that I was just introduced to today. I got a commission. There was a kid that wanted to know if I could do a commission, and he was trying to decide what to do, and then he came back with this. He brought this Lego because they've got, like I said, they've got tons of these Legos, these Lego minifigures, and apparently this is a character that is sort of, and then they brought the owners, they brought over a statue, so I can kind of get a better look at this for reference. But this is a character called Dawnbreaker. And I guess he's sort of I don't know if he's alternate universe. They kind of filled me in a little bit, but I'm not sure exactly the origins. But he is sort of a cross between Green Lantern and Batman. But I think he's a villain. So you take two heroes, combine them together, and somehow you get a villain. I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys could explain in the chat if you're up on this kind of stuff. But it was kind of a cool design. So he's got sort of these, it's pretty much Batman's cowl, and then he's got he's got these like green goggles, and then he's got some like little wires or pipes coming out from his head and stuff like that, which that's the kind of stuff I always design, and like when I do robots and things. So it was pretty cool. And then he's got just a big grin, so which is just spoiler alert for the next one. The next one I'm going to do is a sketch cover, and that's sort of Batman, a cross between Batman and the Joker. So it's kind of interesting there. But again, kind of fun to design these characters that they're different. They're new to me, but I like to design new things and get introduced to some of these new things. And usually, especially when you get kids, they're more up on some of the newer characters and everything. And that's cool because I always concern myself with, it just doesn't seem like a lot of kids are getting into comics right now. So just the fact that there were so many kids at this event, it really gave me hope for comics in general. Now, I mean, obviously I know like manga is huge and younger audience gravitate to manga and everything. But I'd like to see more younger kids get into like American comics as well. But all in all, I mean, it's anytime I see kids, whatever kind of comics you're into, whether it's the Eastern influence or Western, or it doesn't matter to me, just comics are comics, and the fact that there's still kids getting into them, it really makes me feel good when I see younger kids into comics. And and they'll tell me about the different characters and things like that. And so that's cool, that's the way it should be, because, and we've all got our favorites. Of course, I'm more drawn to some of the classic, like the Bronze Age stuff that I had growing up. But it was the same way with my dad. Some of the newer costumes that were introduced when I was a kid, my dad's like, yeah, that doesn't look like the Adam that I know, or this is back in the back in the 80s, where Adam they gave him he was kind of like a sword and sorcery type thing. So I know I thought it was totally cool, but of course a lot of times everything reverts back to the originals, because there's really nothing like, in most cases, like the original way it was. So costumes will change and new characters will get added and things, but a lot of times it ends up reverting back to the originals. And as you can see here's some of the Lego minifigures that I mentioned. They've just got tons and tons of them. But yeah, everyone's here doing, just here to draw and create, whether they're creating Batman or, people are just doing their own stuff. But like I said, a lot of kids, and that is super cool. So this is a sketch cover, and I dig the idea of sketch covers, and I like this because it's a way for the comic companies to sort of make something off of fan art, because and it's pretty smart of them, I think, because instead of just having people do unlicensed artwork all over the place, they actually create these comics, or at least you're buying the comic so you can get somebody to draw something on it. So it's a pretty smart idea, and it seems like they're fairly successful with it. They've got a lot of these up, that myself and other artists have done, in the store and everything. So they've got a lot of, local comic book creators. And the other thing that I don't know why I didn't put this up, I didn't take any shots of this, and I should have, but they recently introduced like an indie comics thing, like local creators. So they got my books up there, and some other creators, Eric Henson, who does Eden for Alterna. He's actually local to my city, Surprise, where this shop is. And also, Vincent DePorter, who does SpongeBob, and he did Scooby-Doo. And actually he stopped by, and I wish I would have got shots of this too, because he had brought a portfolio of some of his original art from like Flintstones and Rugrats, what else? Ed, and Eddie, Scooby-Doo, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, just seeing that stuff in person it was amazing. I mean, his stuff was so good, and like he hand letters everything, and his lettering is so awesome. I was talking to him. I'm going to see if there's a way that I can maybe partner with him to do a font based on his lettering, because it's so good. I just have to figure out a way how to do that. So I'm trying to figure, there's a lot of people I want to partner with to create digital products. I just got to figure out what kind of, if there's a software out there or something where I can kind of split that with the other creators, and that might be down the road. Right now I'm just starting off in this kind of venture with doing the digital comic book tools and things. So for now, I've got so many ideas to do myself, but I would like to get involved and get other creators involved and start creating stuff, based on, whether it's their font or I don't know, something that's signature to them. But anyway, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself talking about all this other stuff. When if you're not familiar with what I'm drawing, this is the Batman Who Laughs, which, according to my brief introduction, is basically an alternate universe where Batman actually kills the Joker, and because of that, I guess he's sort of, the Joker wins, because that's basically what the Joker wants. And because of this, of course, Bruce Wayne goes crazy, and he becomes this character, the Batman Who Laughs, which is pretty much like a cross between the Joker and Batman. I guess they were saying Greg Capullo designed this character, and I was like, yeah, it looks like something he would design, because it's very, not that he designed Spawn, but he worked on Spawn for a long time. So he's got the chains and the buckles and the spikes and everything. It very much looks like something that would that McFarlane or Capullo would have came up with. But it's kind of cool. I mean, it's definitely fun to draw. Anytime I could draw like spikes and all that cool stuff. I mean, when Spawn was out, I was the same way, man. I was drawing all kinds of Spawn, and I thought he was the coolest thing. And he's kind of got an iconic. Speaking of iconic things, he's kind of got that look too. Although maybe if you put this character next to Spawn in a silhouette, you might not be able to tell so much the difference, other than sort of they're not, I don't know if they're ears, they're kind of like spikes that come out, and he's got this, and one of the kids that was there was asking how he sees. I don't know, because he's just got this metal, thing with spikes around his eyes and everything. But visually, it's kind of a striking image. But it was definitely fun to draw. So, and of course, just got to add that red lipstick like the Joker has to just finish that thing off. But yeah, all in all, Batman Day was super fun. It was great just hanging out at the comic book store and just drawing with people. And if I could do this more often, I would definitely like to. So for the people that did come out, thank you so much, and hope to do it again. Okay, that was pretty cool. So Batman Day 2019 has come and gone. I want to thank Matt and Melissa from Surprise Comics for hosting this event and bringing me out. It was really fun. I got to do a lot of cool stuff, meet a lot of cool people. Now that I'm not doing as many Comic-Con appearances, it's good for me to go out to local shops and everything, do some sketches and commissions, because that's really the only time I do that kind of thing. So yeah, I wouldn't mind doing more of that. It's a lot of fun, and it's always fun to go out there. I think I got some stuff coming up next month. I will fill you in on that when that happens too as well. So stay tuned, and yeah, I will see you guys later. That is all. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Also, you can follow me at Serkworks on social media, and now you can support the work that I do on Patreon. Do you like making comics? Then go to Serkworks.com and pick up the Comic Maker Starter Kit. It's packed full of fonts, brushes, templates, and more. And best of all, it's totally free.